A monumental loss for local news last week.
This is Win News.
With the Win network announcing it will cut 9 regional news bulletins and several jobs.
It's a commitment to local news that is unmatched.
Australia's largest regional commercial television network, Win has long been a springboard for up-and-coming journalists.
Carl Stefanovic, Win News.
Our very own Leonardo Puglisi first broke the story an hour before the media release was published.
You're probably going to see a lot more generic stories starting the 1st of July.
Win joins the growing number of media outlets who are fast disappearing from the regions. This time last year, News Corp shed 500 employees and 14 regional mastheads. Another 100 moved online. Declining advertising revenue and the pandemic are reportedly to blame for the loss of local bulletins. And according to some, no news is bad news for regional communities.
Some stories aren't going to get told now. It's always hard for people to get their own story told, but it's just going to be even harder now because, Win's going, to their credit, they haven't walked out of local news completely, but for some of those smaller communities, Kahuna, Kerrang, very little relevance to someone in Ballarat or Traralgon. So it's a loss for local stories, local voices.
From July 1 at Win, regional bulletins in Queensland and Victoria will be replaced with state-based bulletins. Those bulletins will be broadcast into more areas, which is set to create some jobs. And all bulletins nationwide will air at the same time slot of 5:30 instead of 6 as Win re-enters its relationship with 9. Win's Chief Executive Officer Andrew Lancaster acknowledges there will be job cuts, though it's not known how many. Jeff Sargeant was a reporter for Win in Bendigo for several years, leaving just before the network underwent an affiliation swap with Channel 9 and 10. He says the regional media landscape has been shrinking for many years, but wasn't worried about cuts when he was there.
It was a lot of fun. It was hard work. There's small newsrooms. There were 3 journos, 3 camera people in Bendigo, and most of the bureaus were the same. Ballarat was a little bit bigger because it had the news studio facilities, but we would do 2 to 3 stories a day.
The ABC has pledged to invest in regional news using revenue made from deals with Facebook and Google under the News Media Bargaining Code. The cuts at Win were despite the outlet receiving $4.5 million in funding from the federal government's public interest news gathering last year. Representatives from Win have been hauled before the Communications Department to explain their decision, as communities and an industry reel. Connor Alforque, 6 News.